Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is another one of my Living Consciously videos. This is going to be the third video on energy distortions. And today I'm going to cover symbols, pictures, colors, feelings, sensing, tasting, and knowing. That's a lot to cover in 15 to 20 minutes, but I'll get through it as fast as I can. First of all, symbols and pictures. A symbol is a picture, but a symbol stands for something else. A picture may be a representation of exactly what it is that's being presented. So effectively, you are being guided to to realize that what's being presented to you is important. And sometimes you have to figure out what the importance is because it's not immediately evident. I'll just give you a few very simple examples. It could be something as easy as seeing a picture of an apple in your mind's eye. And you mention that to the client, and then they say, "Oh, yeah, I had an apple for lunch." It also could mean that that apple has potassium in it, and your body needs potassium, especially if they hadn't had an apple for lunch, but they need it. So I feel that just be there and try to dig out the finer meaning of it. Pictures, you will be given some people are very, very verbal, and some have the ability to see pictures very readily, very easily. I was one of those. I saw pictures from the beginning, and then it felt like almost like a movie screen opened up in my mind's eye, and I was just at the ecstatic over the scene that I was given. But again, I had to figure out what that scene meant. The most dramatic that I think I've ever had was when I saw a scene, and it was in a desert, and it was a Bedouin camp, and the sheikh had, God knows, 54 wives. And one of the wives was determined that her child was going to be the favorite of the sheikh. So what she kept doing is she kept poisoning the other wives' children, that if there was any kind of favoritism. So I saw this in my mind's eye. Um, and I saw what she was doing. And then also I knew her current existence and what was happening to her own child in her current lifetime. And I knew that it was related to that lifetime. That, like I said, was very, very dramatic. But that was also very exciting for me to be able to be given that. One time, as I was working on a client, I saw the Wicked Witch of the West standing, uh, or it could have been the East, kind of like coming out of this person in her energy field as I was working on third chakra. And I looked at that, and well, actually, I think I was working on the root chakra because I asked her, I got the meaning of it. I felt that the Wicked Witch of the West was the way she interpreted her mother. And I asked her, I said, "Is your mother a pain to you?" And she said, very vocally, yes. She said, "Yes." And so I recognized that I got the symbolism of that. Pictures will show up mainly sometimes very lovely pictures, sometimes those that are very sad and very uh, draining. And so you, again, you have to be there. You have to see what it is that's being shown, and you have to use discernment to your people on how to present this to them. Colors. That's the first thing that will probably show up for you as you go into the path of healing. Colors are the in your mind's eye, you will see colors. And most of the time, when I see any shade of blue, no matter how it's formed, I credit it with St. Michael. If I see any shade of purple, I credit it with St. Germain being around. And pink, the Blessed Mother. Green, St. Raphael, the Archangel of Healing. So I have lovely, lovely memories of how vivid colors have appeared. They've also appeared in very geometric patterns. It could be that as I closed my eyes, I saw a whole screen of geometric patterns that were available. And most of the time, when I saw geometric patterns, they were in shades of brilliant blue and gold, yellow gold. So, but again, that doesn't mean that you're going to see them in that. However, you see the colors is right for you. But just know the colors stand for something. And I always feel I like to relate the colors to the chakras. Red for the root, orange for sacral, the second chakra, yellow for solar plexus, pink or green for the heart, blue for the throat, indigo, or in many, many cases, I will see um, lavender in here or here. And this is supposed to be purple. I usually see it as white light or lavender. So yes, I might see this as a deeper color, but most of the time it's blended with some type of purple and white light. Most of the time, I feel that the clients that I have that are working to open their third eye are opening their crown and allowing God's energy to come in so that they're being very, very good about their meditations and they're being very receptive to whatever is showing up for them. The pictures can a lot of times be people. I know that when somebody comes to me and asks me to connect to somebody on the other side, I will see sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes three people. I sometimes see them very clearly. Sometimes I see them more translucent, but I usually see them together. And this is when I know that I've got a family grouping, but whatever it is that they say, I kind of tune into the energy of the words. Is it masculine? Is it feminine? And then I know which side is talking. So that's really important. This comes into the next category, feelings. There are times where I've had somebody on the table or across from me and giving a reading to them. I literally felt like my chest was being compressed. And I realized that they had a tremendous amount of heartache, heart pain. Their throat could be constricted. It could be that I was feeling like somebody was choking them. And then I know that they're not speaking their truth. They are more concerned with not insulting or arousing anger in the other person than they are in speaking their own truth. This has a very unfortunate effect because eventually doing this often enough can lead to something like throat cancer. Most people don't get the connection, but absolutely it's there. So, and this is why uh, people will get throat cancer, and somebody will say, well, they never smoked a day in their life. It's nothing to do with smoking, has the way of the way they acted to their fellow man, acted in their family, the way they were trained to act, trained to react. Is well, I know when I have a child that grew up in a household of addicted or abusive parents, a child that had to always be on the lookout for the emotions of the parent because knowing that if they couldn't train themselves to see what that parent was going to do next by the contortions on their face or their body language, the way they stiffened up, they were going to be in trouble because they were the ones who were going to be hit and or squelched in some way. And the type of child abuse I've seen is incredible. So to the point where uh, people have actually have had disassociated personalities. In other words, multiple personalities in order to cope with the abuse that they received. Um, so these are feelings and emotional imbalances. They will show up in your body. Don't be afraid to say something. Don't be afraid to identify exactly what you're feeling because what you're feeling has a bearing on them if you're giving them the reading, if you're giving them the healing. Um, Unfortunately, one of my clients who was doing fantastically had a setback and then had several things happen, infections in her body. And the what I saw yesterday just probably has set her back almost 6 months in terms of how far she had come in her healing and now how far back she is because of the fact that she's allowing her family to step all over her. And her body is screaming in rage about it. Um, the next thing is sensing heat, sensing cold, sensing a pulsing feeling, sensing throbbing, sensing prickly pain, especially in my palm. If I sense uh, pain in my palm, I know that that's releasing anger and in a very, very big way. Um, if I feel a burning sensation, if I feel something in one case, the it felt like somebody had put an electric cord around my waist and had jolted me. And so that I knew that there was something in that third chakra, which is your solar plexus, which is your personal I am, your right to be on this planet, your right to be exactly who you are. So it sensing is something you have to pay attention to. See what shows up for you in your body because it helps you identify what's in their body. The next one is tasting. You can start to taste metallic. You can start to taste stagnant energy. You can taste bitter. You can taste rotted. Um, it's all there, and it makes the it gives you a clue as to what is happening to that person, and then
Yes, ma'am.
give
Well, no, I got a serious problem, Mark. A very serious problem.
Thank you. The okay, the tasting is stagnant, is acid, it's bitter, it's metallic, it's rotten vegetables. That is a more advanced way of identifying energy, and it's not going to be anything that you feel is uh, it will absolutely add to itself. Once you go into a state of tasting, then the last step is knowing. And this is where you are simply given the ability to know what's going on with that person. You know that you don't know how you know, but you know that you know. And this is God's way of helping you help the client, helping you identify what it is that's wrong with you. We have all kinds of safeguards built into our energy field to help us know that something is wrong. A baby will know it's being molested. A baby can sense that something is wrong. So, your ability to know is in direct correlation to your ability to trust. Trust what you're given, trust the creator, trust the issues that are placed in front of you that you are being asked to heal. Trust the experiences that you have been led through because most of the time it was the painful experiences that got you to a place of enlightenment, got you to a place that took you to a higher level than you could have. One of my favorite sayings is pain was my path to wisdom. I've always felt that. Now that I've gone through the other side, but obviously, while I was going through a path of pain, I thought I was living in a version of hell. But unfortunately, that ended up probably being some of the greatest gifts to me because it turned me into the person I am today. It made me compassionate, it made me a healer, it made me into an excellent reader, and gave me the ability to do what I do with complete confidence. So, thank you all for watching. You can, if you tuned in late, um, you can get the whole thing will be on YouTube, and the whole thing will be on Facebook Live. It stays on forever. That's the way I've set it up. I will see you next week. I try to keep these to 15 minutes. Um, Never really successful, but also, if you need a book on meditation, Own Your Power Day by Day is one of the best books out there. Every word was guided by spirit. Every word has the word of God, the energy of God in it. So I thank you. And there is going to be a special for November and December on my website. So that will be coming soon. October, these months have been flying by, just flying by. So my website, if you need to access it, www.alicia, ALICJA Jones.com. AliciaJones.com. That is my birth name. I thank you so much for being here, and I'm so pleased to see you, and I will see you next time.